Hello, I'm Sharad Mahajan, architect planner by qualification and practice for more than 35 years. I studied in JJ, where architect Sanjay Mohe was my contemporary, and it was in early 70s I studied there. After that, the journey was to CEPT for post-graduation, then IIM Ahmedabad for 2 years, and then we started our private practice initially in Ahmedabad and shifted to Pune for better pasture. As an architect, it took 3-4 years to settle down, but when we settled down, some of our common friends felt that we, the middle class people or professionals who are doing better for themselves, they should do something for the society. That means for the poorer section of the society. So we came together and formed the organization which is registered as a society and as a public charitable trust, and it's called MASHAL. It's the abbreviation of Maharashtra Social Housing and Action League. Our president, Neeta Chalke, she is a very spiritually inclined person, and she goes for Wari for almost more than 10 times. That means she walks down from Alandit to Pandharpur, which is almost 214 kilometers of walk. And this walk is started historically in 13th century. The first Wari was made by Sant Jnaneshwar, who is a very revered person in Maharashtrian circle, and he wrote epic book Jnaneshwari, which is a translation of Gita. So he wrote that book, and he, along with his brother, sisters and father, he walked down from Alandi to Pandharpur. That was the first Wari, and then it has become a part of the Maharashtrian culture, and people from Maharashtra, almost all districts of Maharashtra, from Karnataka and from part of Andhra Pradesh, they come. I personally come from a small village called Uttran in Jalgaon district, which is about 400 kilometers from here. So from my small village of about 6,000 also, every year about 25 people walk down to Pandharpur and they return by bus. So this is a culture where the people in the villages who agree to follow certain moral code of conduct, that is they become Warkari or they wear Maal, where they voluntarily accept that they will not drink alcohol, they will not smoke, they will not tell lies and things like that, or they will not eat non-veg. So these are the ethical or moralistic values which is imbibed by the Santa Parampara in Maharashtra. So the followers of Tukaram starts from Dehu Road, and followers of Jnaneshwar, they start from Alandi, and they walk down almost simultaneously, again meet somewhere near Pandharpur, and end up in meeting at Pandharpur, where almost 10 lakhs people gather in normal circumstances. Of course, because of the COVID, that Wari or walking down of lakhs of people together is affected last year as well as this year. But this is the way it is happening. Now, when it starts from Alandi and Dehu Road, it stops at about 21 places. So these are called Nivasas. So that particular place, the concerned village or the settlements welcomes them. They arrange for their food or water related requirements, and the government, state government particularly, which is headed by the divisional commissioner and the district collector, they also take care of traveling, transportation, water supply and things like that. So this is a town on wheel for almost 21-22 days, and they all reach, and after that Aarti or the final puja is done, everybody goes back. Some of them walk back, but most of them go back by vehicles. So this is the arrangement. Now there is an amazing way of organizing which is evolved over time period. The Wari, the way it is in this form, has a history of almost 300 years. When Tukaram Maharaj and Chhatrapati Shivaji were present, it had started that time, and it has been continuously happening. Of course, there were few breaks in case of calamities, like when there was a plague in 1919, the Wari was stopped for a couple of years. For last 2 years it is stopped, but otherwise people from different walks of life and different corners of Maharashtra as well as Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh, they come and they join hands. Now, who are these people? If you ask, it's very interesting that people who have a faith in Bhakti movement. And Bhakti movement, where you believe in a God, you have a direct dialogue with the God, and you take the strain or difficulties, you accept the difficulty as a part of life with the hope that the God will help you. That is the basic philosophy. So you will find the very poor people joining it, mostly from the dry prone area, and you may be aware that Maharashtra is very prosperous with agriculture, with sugarcane and things like that, but only less than 20% of the area has irrigated facilities, and 80% of Maharashtra is a totally drought prone area. That means there is only one crop in a year. So after the cropping is done, these poor farmers, they come together, they take Vitthalachi, that is Pandurang photo, and Tulas. They organize themselves. The organization is very important. There are more than 700 dindis, and each dindi has a supply side as well as the people who really are warkaris or they walk. So the supply side basically has all the provisions, water supply. They cook well in advance. They go to the Nivasa or the place where the people will be staying at night, and the food will be ready for them. Lot of villagers, they also supply foods, they give the fruits. Lot of people who believe in religious practice of Annadan, that is donating the food to the people, they also give huge supplies. Somebody gives the fruits, somebody will give some tin, this thing, or dry fruits. So people, nobody, with each wari, that is Tukaram wari and Jnaneshwar wari, more than 1 lakh of people walk, but nobody goes hungry. There is always a provision, either prepared by their own group, that is Dindi, or by the people, wealthy people of the society. So what does the government does? The government takes care of the transportation arrangement. They give the police, they look after the law and order, and they also provide for water supply and some arrangement for temporary sanitation. Because 1 lakh people staying in one particular village for one particular day, there is a lot of problem of sanitation and taking the bath and all that thing. So government tries to take care of it. Every year they spend about 4 to 5 crores of rupees for sanitation purpose only. That is giving the water supply. And so it's not that the government is not doing, but looking at the quantum, that supply of the temporary toilets etc. is also less. So what we expect from this competition, that the requirement of this community are taken proper care, maybe in the temporary shelter or temporary toilet or some innovative idea about disposal of the human waste. If that aspect is also touched by the young architects, we will really appreciate it. Now, the central government, which is headed by Dr. Nitin Gadkari of road department, he has proposed that this particular route will be modernized, reconstructed, and they have the budget of 1300 crore rupees. And as you have seen in the pilgrimage route all over the world, and there are pilgrimage route in Muslims, you all know Makkah Madina Wari. There are number of waris in Europe which is connected with the certain churches. There is a very famous one in the Spain. The difference between that wari and wari in Maharashtra, that is Pandharpur wari, is that it happens only once in a year type of thing, and there the wari happens continuously. So the warkaris or the people who follow the pilgrim route, they are there always. So there are a lot of youth hostel type of arrangement, permanent accommodation, good toilet facilities, and it develops a business model which runs around the year. In our case, in Pandharpur Wari, the whole business thing also travels with the Wari. So from one village to another village, for 21 days the whole business goes on during the procession. So this is the difference. So we have our constraints, we have our advantages. The route goes from some of the very irrigated areas, then it goes through the totally dry prone area where there are hardly any plantations. We feel that warkaris at times had to walk through the very harsh sun In that case, if there is a good plantation along the road, their journey will be happy, things like that. We expect a lot of ideas from the students. We also feel that this is not going to be only on the drawing board. It will certainly get implemented because the government is very keen on getting this idea from us, and we will certainly give the due credit to drawing board competition as well as the people who give their entries. We are 100% sure it will go to the right people, the right decision makers, and some of the ideas also will get implemented. So this is not a theoretical project, this is a realistic project which has a lot of implications because Wari is a part of a spiritual journey of a Maharashtrian culture. And nowadays, a lot of people from the educated background, people from IT, people from technical background, people from corporate sector, they also join Waris. So the youth is also have started participating in this almost 7th century old ritual or the pilgrimage, and I think that it is changing. It's also changing with the market, because before 1991 India was different, and after accepting liberalization, privatization and globalization, India has changed. So everything in India is changing. The way we communicate, the way we do business, the way we do practice architecture, and also the way we get educated has totally changed. Similarly, the Wari is also changing. Lot of technologies are coming. Earlier there used to be only bullock carts. Now you will hardly find a bullock cart. Mostly you will find tempo and trucks and things like that. So people, you will also find the people not only in dhotar and kurta, but the people in jeans and t-shirts are also joining the Wari. So all these changes need to be accepted, they need to be accommodated, and they need to be provided. So if this competition come up with a good ideas, I am very sure that this idea will be appreciated, and it will be a great contribution to the real life situation. The idea is to use this information to come up with various ideas, take the help of this Rohan and Mindspace competition, create more ideas and submit it in the form of a report to the government, who intends to use these ideas to make the Wari route much better, better tolerable. Our focus is going to be on the environment and people's participation. Inhabitants or the villagers from the nearby settlements, and involve them in taking care of the plantation, nurturing them, taking care of the installations which we will be doing it as a part of decoration. Please mind that this is a walking journey. Every day the people walk for about 25 to 30 kilometers. So their bathing arrangement, their toilet arrangement, their sleeping arrangement, these are the issues, and that need to be resolved. To the student of architecture who are thinking of participating in this particular competition, I have certain expectations. Please remember that architects are usually trained to understand the problem, to find out some solutions and convert it into a workable program. And they have learned the skills of drawing things, so that they do the plan, elevation, section, quantities, specification, everything, convert it into a tender form and give it to the contractor who execute it, and architects supervise it. So that is the traditional role of an architect. Here we expect them to go little beyond that, because the requirements are not given 2 bedroom, 1 toilet, this and that. It is not that. Neither you are given the requirement that it has to be, say, so many square meters and you have to only play with that. Here the ideas are more important. The converting it into working drawings, or quantifying the things and converting into a project of X amount is really not expected. If you come up with an amazing idea about sanitation, which need to be created, sanitation facilities need to be created for a day, but for 1 lakh people, half of them say women, half of them male, how do you do it? It's not that it has to be divided into equal segment. It can be at different places because these 1 lakh people are staying in that village during 1.5 kilometers area, okay, along the road. So one can think of the accommodation, sanitation, installations, water supply, their bathing arrangement, and all these things has to be financially viable also. We are not from the rich nations where per capita income is huge. India is still have a very reasonable income, and most of the people who come for Wari, most of them, 80% of them are from the drought prone area, from agriculture background, and they are from poor community. So you got to consider that and identify the right issues and give the right solutions and come up with the best solutions to the problems which you have identified. All the best. Thank you.